Reddit, what is your best observation of body language in real life? Something you've learned or read about it, and it's always true? If you're in a situation where you have to pretend to be surprised, keep your eyebrows raised for more than a second. That's a telltale sign. Genuinely surprised people will keep their face in that state for more than 1 second. Wandering eyes in a shop. Not the determined kind. The thinking kind. They are looking for presents. This observation has become so spot on that I ask our customers, so who are you getting a gift for? And that always surprises them and breaks the ice. Edit. Ha. Lots of points. Most pointy thing I've ever appointed. Thank you. Tuzan Takadikuji. Close bracket. During a job interview, sit in the same posture your interviewer is sitting in. It gives the impression that you are feeling the same way that they are. Always true? Maybe not. Often true? Sure. When one person grooms another person during casual interaction. Oh. You've got some lint on your shoulder. Let me just. He is being unconsciously affectionate to that other person and welcoming him/her into the pack. I mean family. Like monkeys picking each other's gnats. Edit. I meant subconsciously and nits. I think that changes in body language are more significant than anything else. For example, I've had this pointed out to me. I normally stand with pretty straight posture, figure skater here. But when I start talking to someone I think is cute, I quite obviously arch my back and shift my weight entirely onto one hip. This might be normal posture for someone else, but the shift is what makes it significant. TLDR. Don't trust static body posture. Someone could have just been chilling like that. Watch how their body position changes when you approach. Not exactly body language in the traditional sense, but I've sold 6 or 7 houses in my time and I've always known which viewer would put in an offer by the fact that they 1. Used the bathroom and 2. Altered something. It's held true every time. I stage my houses very carefully and I know when anything has been moved, used, changed, and would tell my husband to expect a call from the agent that evening. My guess is that the folks are subconsciously taking possession or marking territory. The most amazing occurrence of body language I've witnessed was a friend back in high school that could control our group of friends. Whenever we were standing in a circle and he wanted to speak, he would simply take a step or 2 towards the middle. This would cause everyone to quiet down, effectively giving him room to speak uninterrupted. We didn't catch on for a while, but the way he was able to perform it so subtly was amazing. I believe this has to do with personal space and how we instinctively react to an incoming presence. Watch, glance at their feet. If they are pointed towards you, they are engaged in your conversation. If they are pointed away, often towards an exit, they'd like to end the conversation. I use this at work all the time, and I notice myself doing it. Edited for clarity, because some people take things very literally. I oftentimes catch myself mirroring the actions of people I'm interested in. So I guess that's something. That video of the woman walking in Nick is a really great example of body language. It's obvious she's not interested in being addressed, and yet dudes keep trying. They're either oblivious, best case, or actively trying to harass her. Pro tip. If a woman on the street is staring straight ahead, hasn't caught your eye and has a blank expression as she's walking purposely by, she's not interested. Catcalling or walking beside her isn't going to change that. People who mimic your body language don't want to displease you. That's as close to universally true as these things go. You cross your arms, they cross their arms. That sort of thing. Nervous people often lick their lips and swallow. Liars often do, too, as well as touching their mouth. But it can be delayed after the lie when they feel like they got away with it. Like if you respond with, "Oh, that makes sense," that's when they lick their lips. People falsely accused of lying generally have a stronger reaction than those caught in a lie. One-on-one. That sometimes comes out as, the honest person confronts you face on, while the liar turns a little away. It's more about the line of their hips or shoulders, not so much where they point their nose. People who walk around on all fours and pant heavily all the time and wag their tail when they are happy are dogs. Shaking someone's hand can make you memorable. This is just something I have observed, so I'm not passing it off as a general truth. When I meet someone new in a casual setting, a friend of a friend, someone's co-worker, someone's family member, etc. A person who acknowledges your existence and makes their way over to shake your hand will have an immediate impact on me over someone who just smiles and nods or waves and whatnot. I feel more comfortable with someone who make initiative to shake your hand. For whatever the reasons may be, I am much more likely to approach someone whose hand I have shaken to learn more about them at some point in the night. This very much goes in the business world as well. I know it's common knowledge to shake someone's hand when you meet them first time in a business setting. But if someone approaches you to shake your hand while they are leaving, they are far more memorable in my mind. It gives me a sense of belonging knowing that someone thought about me in particular before leaving a place or setting and had to make their way over to let me know they are leaving. This also works with customer-client relationships. If a customer shakes my hand after a transaction is completed, I will remember them and may give them some sort of incentives or discounts next time I see them. Work and loss prevention. This one, among many others, is almost always true. When a person has made the decision to shoplift and is about to conceal, they look like they are peeing in the pool. Every time. LP is all about body language. When it comes to nonverbal communication, you don't just like for one particular behavior. You're looking for clusters, and even then, nothing is ever 100% true. Also, you have to take into consideration different cultures have different mores. What's considered acceptable in one culture might not be in another. In a group conversation, people will tend to look at the person they're most comfortable with the most. Self-touching, INB for masturbation jokes, is often a sign a person is nervous and or anxious. Lip biting is often a sign of arousal. Pupil dilation is a sign that a person is excited, and possibly on drugs. I'm very skeptical of one-size-fits-all body language interpreters. I do think that individuals have tells, but it varies from person to person. I had a teacher that was a former cop. He pointed out that a person in a normal state of mind will swing their arms slightly while they move or walk. Angry people have a tendency to hold their arms at their sides and not move them. To me, the absolutely most important thing I've learned about body language is that it has to be taken into context. What else are they doing? What are they talking about? Who are they talking to? Where are they? etc. When first starting to observe it, it's easy to take one gesture, posture, expression and go look. Crossed arms. That equals defensiveness. Or whatever. But that's only one part of an equation. If body language is an actual language, then crossed arms is just one word. You can't figure out what someone is saying by looking at just one word. You gotta look at the whole sentence. I discovered this one on my own, though I probably wasn't the first. This works for girls and guys. When someone suddenly sees someone they find attractive, the first thing they usually do is fix their hair. They usually can't stop themselves. It's an instinctive thing. Like, oh, someone hot. Gotta look fly. Double quote. So next time you're walking about, and someone fixes their hair right when they first see you, they're attracted to you. Women do touch their hair when talking to a guy they're interested in. I do it all the time when talking to the guy I like ATM. In a group, whenever someone cracks a joke and the group laughs, the first person any group member, look at is who they're most comfortable, closest, most attracted to. Almost always. Edit. It appears someone beat me to it. Gosh darn it. Fish paste. Tartar sauce. Barnacles. Apparently this is very common in girls. Not sure about guys. You can tell somebody wants to or is thinking about kissing you because they are constantly glancing from your lips to your eyes. If someone is farting a lot and looks uncharacteristically uncomfortable, then they probably need to poop soon. If someone hugs you and pats you on the back simultaneously, they are uncomfortable with hugging you. If they're asleep and you're watching them, don't be scared if they randomly move a limb or their breathing pattern changes. Just wait until they start breathing slow, deep breaths. If they take an audible, loud breath, abort mission and TFO. Even if they open their eyes, they might not be conscious enough for the first few seconds to register an image. Though you may be screwed regardless. Nothing will stop a startled wake up, though. Preface. I don't know about always true because it may be confirmation bias. I've found that talking to girls while sitting down, if their legs are crossed towards you, example, you're on her left, her right leg is over her left leg, or legs crossed, they're genuinely interested in chatting, and supposing you don't goof up giving you their phone number. If they cross them away from you, they're not in better luck next time. I work in one of the busiest retail store in the world. Policy dictates I can't share where on social media, but when I am on the front doors welcoming people and generally helping them with their dumb questions, you get pretty good at picking the painful long interactions out. As we have to welcome everyone, I raise my voice slightly and talk in a booming deep set voice. Hi, welcome to. They get out Alfred hard and don't want to talk to me. I then take great pleasure in watching them ruin one of my co-workers' day. If I think they would actually enjoy talking to me, I make myself look dumb as tea and they walk straight past. I wish my roommate would learn that me walking away from him and to my room means it's the end of the goddamn conversation. Stop bringing new tea up or starting a new story. Morthurfka will keep telling me new tea despite me having disappeared into my room. I don't even act interested, the dude just can't not talk. If you see a guy walking down the street and he awkwardly lifts one leg up higher than the other repeatedly, he is trying to peel his sack off of his inner thigh without alerting whomever he is with. We mostly do this when we are with women or family. If we are around other guys, no fucks given. Watch where feet are directed. In a group conversation, a person will direct their feet to the person they are attracted most interested in. If a person feels uncomfortable, their feet will be directed to the nearest exit. Late to the party, and this will probably get buried, but I found that those who are lying tend to literally get shifty. Like, they'll start fidgeting. And when they talk, they tend to throw in a lot more detail in their explanation stories than the conversation would normally warrant. The character Walter White from Breaking Bad is a phenomenal example of this. Most people are pretty bad liars. People who have been lying for a while, though, tend to be a lot smoother about it. Someone mentioned body language clues being generally true but not universal. I suffer fairly bad anxiety in public spaces. I've been told by friends that I look angry as I walk down the street. I have received looks from security staff in shops, maybe in my head, because of the anxiety etc. as I walk around the store looking shifty and darting my eyes everywhere until I settle down. I think I look everything but nervous. I'm sure most people have a more general character and you can assume body language for them, but a good 10% must have less typical personality traits that affect their body language. I'm kind of the quiet, reserved guy, and I love watching people while I'm hanging out with them. Seeing a person's look of defeat or frustration at another person over something they just said, or the look people get when they are trying to be condescending to me. I also enjoy the shifty-eyed, jaw-tightening look people get when they are judging someone else. Or those sideways glances two people will give each other thinking no one else sees them. So much fun catching that stuff. If you are having a conversation with a girl and some guy just comes in and interrupts the conversation, don't stay. In fact, walk away. If the girl doesn't like that guy, she will automatically come looking for you. People will always revert back to someone they trust or are interested in. If the person is facing towards you or away while speaking, usually it's an easy indicator to see if they're still interested in continuing the conversation. The slightest hesitation on answering or deflecting of a question. When people either want you to shut up or they want to leave, they will tend to smile a lot and they have a sudden interest in what you're saying, all while formulating a plan on how to tell you to FCK off. You know you've gained trust and rapport with someone when you notice they start mirroring you. Sit in the same position. Lean the same way. Shift when you shift, etc. Conversely, you can do the same thing to gain trust or rapport with someone. Watch people's eyebrows when you enter the room. If they go up, they're happy to see you. If they go down or stay neutral, they're not. It's one of those things that is almost impossible to fake, because the way it happens naturally can't really be mimicked. Best that always works. The way their body is directed. You can look at feet, legs, shoulders, whatever. Look at the direction their body is going in. Towards you equals good. Keep going. Away equals cut your losses. Most interesting is looking at people's eyes as they talk. Depending on what way they are looking as they are talking can tell you if they are telling the truth or lying. The hard part about the eyes is that everything is in reverse for left-handed people. When a person crosses their leg, they generally cross it towards someone they trust and away from someone they don't. Also watch for eye shielding. When someone slightly closes their eyes and tilts their head down, they are trying not to be noticed and or trying to be left alone. One interesting one is the street meet nod. If you see someone on the street you want to acknowledge, but you don't have time to talk, you pull the street meet nod. But there are actually two types of nod. 1. If the person is someone you respect or is more acquaintance than friend, you nod down. 2. If the person is you feel more comfortable with or closer friends with, you nod up. I call it guilty face. In every criminal trial I've done, I've been able to predict the verdict based on the body language of the jurors when they come back from deliberations. When they're all pointedly avoiding looking at the defendant, you've got guilty face. Double quote. If you do the helicopter in front of your wife, she may pretend she doesn't like it, but she's still impressed. When a girl touches your shoulder and laughs at your awful joke, she likes you, or trying to recruit you in her networking scheme. Humans can't take more than 3 bites of food without looking up. It's an anthropological relic back to when we were scavengers. A man who is into a woman will stand in front of her or direct his body, most commonly his front side, towards her. I'm curious as to others' experience with this, but I've noticed if you hug a member of the opposite gender and they hug back and scratch your back, they're likely interested in you. If you want to look busy at work, just scowl a little. I don't know if anybody else does this, but I've noticed that when I see a girl who I think is cute, I stand up straighter, with my whole body, not some other part. You pervs. It's a completely obvious tell, and I'm very lucky that none of my girlfriends ever twigged to it. My dad used to get his class to shut up by just standing still and raising one hand, but not like Hitler. The visual message he sent was much stronger than trying to talk them into shutting up. When a little kid starts doing the pee dance, even if they say they don't have to go, you send that kid to go potty. I accurately interpreted nervous behavior in my grandfather during a game of Texas Hold'em as a huge bluff, and won a huge pot. I was so proud of myself but couldn't reveal to anyone that I had figured him out. People always expect a certain facial expression and body language combination for any given situation and will feel the most comfortable with that even if the combination is meant to intimidate, and if you keep the expected body language but change up the facial expression they will almost always think negatively of you. Egg. Someone leans forward with clenched hands but have a forced smile. You will always think they're trying too hard or are being bitchy. However, if you keep the expected facial expression and mix up the body language they will feel very uncomfortable and will defuse them. Egg. When someone is on a high horse and chastising you they're expecting you to glare, be tense, and lean forward as if you're about to confront them, but if you maintain the glare while looking as relaxed as possible they interpret it as you thinking they're wasting your time and that you do not take them seriously. You know that little offering gesture people make toward you after they pop a breath mint? Except the breath mint. If found this to be almost 100% accurate, if a girl's is conscious, that is a pretty sure sign she doesn't want to have sex with me. I live in Japan and you can't believe how much I understand because of body language. I don't know much Japanese but I can understand by context and generally similar scenarios in English, etc. This post makes me want to watch Lie to Me again. Then after one episode I remember why I was cancelled. When you walk into a room, if someone looks at you and continues to look at you, they may be interested. Or you look funny. Not sure which. Want to find the most intelligent person in the room without even having to talk to them? Watch their eye movement. Intelligent people have a lot of eye movement, as they're constantly evaluating everything going on around them. Lip chewing usually indicates nervousness, stress, anxiety, or fear. When I'm in a stressful situation or really anxious, scared, I bite holes into my mouth. When I see others doing the same, it's usually for the same reason. They say that if you subtly mirror someone's actions, it helps build rapport with them. The key word being subtly. If you copy everything they do right in front of them, it'll just creep them out. I've found mirroring to be more useful as an empathy building tool. Mirroring by itself is just one facet of this rapport building. Body follows mind and vice versa. I've found that by mirroring someone's body, expression, posture, gestures etc., rather than helping me build rapport directly, instead gives me a better internal understanding of their mood and general disposition, which in turn allows me to seek better ways to generate rapport, rather than simply copying what they're doing. I read once that this is why a lot of pubescent girls fold their arms. They are completely insecure about body language in light of the radical changes they're undergoing. So they just opt out by folding their arms and trying not to engage with it until their confidence returns. Most young men usually mistake this for arrogance or aloofness. Especially if the girl is pretty. Unless it's a completely obvious sign. I'd avoid placing too much significance in every gesture. Chances are the person you're trying to read is also self-conscious and the whole thing becomes one big contrived clusterfuck.